I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face and the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.
Hi guys, welcome to the Halloween podcast. We are now on to Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers.
That was shit.
Right, thanks for listening. Goodbye. That's the shortest podcast in history. Thanks. I think we might have to elaborate a little bit more on how shit it was. But I'm sure you can help me there. It was directed by Joe Chappelle, I believe. Written by Daniel Farrans, who was a huge Halloween fan. We'll get onto that in a minute. It starred, of course, Donald Pleasence in his last Halloween role. In fact, his last acting role. He died shortly after pre-production. Yep. Marion Hagen as Cara Strode. And introducing in his film debut, Paul Rudd as Tommy Doyle. And co-starred Tim Darby as Deborah Strode, who incidentally was in True Grit with John Wayne. Bradford English as the bastard husband, John Strode.
Yeah. And
incidentally, I didn't realise until I just looked at it now. A little tidbit here you probably might know or might not. Their characters' first names are a tribute, of course, to Deborah Hill and John Carpenter. Deborah and John Strode.
There you go.
That was the reason that was thrown in. That was a little nod to the creators of the original. Okay, right. The budget was $5 million, and it made $15.1 million at the box office.
That wouldn't have been bad by the 70s standpoint, but by the mid-90s, not so good.
Yeah, so it wasn't a huge killer, but at least it didn't lose money. Which a lot of films can drastically lose money. It could have flopped completely, but it didn't. So that's not bad. And that would have been just in the US. So
we should probably elaborate which version of this movie we watched, Frank, because there are two versions of this movie, folks.
There are,
and neither one of them's very good.
This is the theatrical release. We will talk a little bit about the producer's cut, which was infamous for a while because it was never available for years. And people were getting really bad, 10th generation copies online of it and all that. That's the old mate Graham here. I'm just introducing him now. Graham's joining me on this.
Oh, it's good to be here, mate. And yes, it was shit. I'm about to tell you why.
So, shall we start by opening up the old first scene?
Yes.
The scene, which differs a lot from the producers. That's why I want to say sort of some of these things will overlap a wee bit.
But can I just get to the meat and potatoes of the opening 5 minutes of this movie?
Yeah.
So essentially, what you've got here, folks, is I've gone blank. What was the chick's name again?
Oh, the girl in it that was in it that was playing Daniel Harris.
Who replaced Daniel Harris?
This J.C. Brandy.
Right. So obviously the story behind this is all stemmed from the fact that Daniel Harris wasn't 18 when this thing went into pre-production. And essentially she couldn't come back for the role because of some of the storylines that picked up in Broadway, pregnancy and whatnot. I believe that was the case. There's an interview online somewhere about it as to why she waited around for years and the offer came, then it was something to do with her age and
there was some sort of contractual battle going on or something. It got a bit ugly, I think, or something or other. I think on that one.
But in my opinion, she probably took one look at the script and went, 25 minutes only? Nah, I'm not taking this. Fuck off.
Yeah.
But getting to the actual plot point, the opening plot point of this movie, the young child is now an adult. She's been kidnapped along with Michael. And now they're kept in this abandoned hospital or something by this cult.
Yeah, it's like a bloody asylum.
Yeah, a psychiatric ward.
Yeah.
Although I love how Michael just seems to be able to wander about that ward free.
Yeah, he's got his old all right, but he can just, there he goes.
Yeah,
Smooching around, yeah.
So essentially, this movie opens and Danielle is given birth. Jamie is given birth.
Jamie Lloyd, yeah, that's right.
Is given birth.
The character she's playing in it, the age of the character, in it, it's meant to be 15.
Which begs the question: who's the pedo in the room?
Now, this is the bit where it overlaps with the producer's cut.
Yes.
Compared to what we see on the theatrical, because it's fiercely implied in the producer's cut that Myers is the father of the child, which is completely.
Hello, Daddy. You're my uncle.
Which is a terrible fucking thing.
He put Joseph Fritzl to shame, didn't he?
God almighty, imagine him looming over her. Oh, Lord.
1990s movies for you kids. Yeah.
Christ almighty, a serial killer. Giving birth to his niece. Impregnating his niece, for God's sake.
Sitting there going, I know he's used to stabbing folk, but it's with a different instrument. Come on.
He's not doing it with a chopper, he's doing it with a knife. Yeah. It's horrendous. But that was the implied, that was implied in the producer's cut. That was really the case. So, and thank God they cut that out. Yeah.
Well, happy families.
But then they have the little baby, don't they, on this sort of like sacrificial altar thing, and they're all like
sacrificial altar, yeah.
And it's got that, and that's when we see that sign on its belly again.
Symbol of the fawn, yeah.
Of the fawn, yeah, which is where this was leading to in this film, or alluded to in the last couple of films. Now it's kind of explained a bit more.
So essentially, a nurse within the psychiatric ward helps Jamie and her baby escape.
That
was
nice of her, but it didn't.
No, it was about a hook. It was about a hook come the end of it, wasn't it?
Now, why did that spike just happen to be randomly on that wall? Where he, done her in.
We just can't be asked stretching the budget for this, so we're just going to put it there.
One spike sticking out of the fucking wall. Yeah. So she got it right in the back of the head. Yeah. And she's on the run with the baby.
She's on the run with the baby, and essentially she escaped in a truck.
Yeah. And then that truck driver who owned it said, "What are you doing in my truck?" And Myers rips his head off. Yeah.
There you go. So essentially, she makes her way back to the town, Hattonfield. Well, or the outskirts anyway, to a hospital.
Yeah.
You've got the radio, taking prank calls.
Yeah.
Because it's Halloween again. And she has... Where she get money for the payphone, I have no idea. But
that's right, yeah.
There you go. So she calls into the radio station, pleads for help, and Wimmis happens to be listening while chugging back a whiskey.
Yeah, because he's out of the sticks a bit, isn't he? In a nice little cottage, out of the middle of nowhere.
There you go.
He is now a retired psychiatrist. Yeah.
We should say that Donald Pleasance is really restricted in this movie, but the short time he's in it, he's still decent.
He is. I
don't want to be horrible, but you can tell he was on his last legs here. I don't know if it was something else at the time or... Yeah.
But with his big beard and everything, and he's like more like a grandfather figure, like Papa Smurf, really, isn't he?
Yep.
He's he's got a warmness to him. He's not as nuts, obviously, as he was in 5.
Santa Claus.
Yeah, he's more of a Santa Claus.
A psychiatric Santa Claus.
Yeah. And it turns out, of course, that from 5, he did indeed have a stroke.
That's what I mean. He's trying a baseball bat.
Yeah, so he did. That kind of follows on from that narrative, incidentally, I just want to go back quickly about the difference between the producer's cut and the theatrical, which we're talking about. On the opening scene, when the credits are rolling, there's a voiceover explaining what's the story a bit, And in the theatrical one, it's Paul Rudd talking, but in the producer's cut, it was Donald Pleasance.
Oh,
real difference in rhythm,
Same narrative, or
exactly the same narrative, but they were spoken by. I don't know why they changed it like that. I don't know what the reason was, but Paul Rudd's on the theatrical and Donald Pleasant's on the producer's cut.
that's strange.
So really, I don't know why they omitted it, because Donald Pleasant's great. They should have kept that in.
Maybe they interpreted that Donald Pleasant would be a more recognisable figure. I mean, he did say it was Paul Rudd's first movie, so
yeah, it was his debut, theatrical film. So where are we now, Graham? Man, we've
well, essentially, she's in the hospital. Limits has been tipped, and she's on the run again, with Michael believing that she has the baby.
Yes.
But while all this is going on, you get introduced to the new family living in the so-called house.
The Rhodes, yeah.
Yes. It's the new family, but the old family at the same time.
New but old, yeah. As it turns out.
So you've got Carrie.
They're in the Myers house.
Yeah. You've got Carrie with her young kid. Obviously had a very young age, and the father is disapproving.
Yeah, he's a right bastard, basically.
You're right, he's an utter cunt. I was so glad when he went the way he went.
Yeah, he got a good one. We'll get onto that. He had a quite good death.
Yeah, but
death there as well.
You get introduced to basically the stereotypical family within these movies. You get the friends who show up of the lead female.
Yeah.
And you slowly get introduced to creepy Tommy across the road with the binoculars. So
it was a bit like the older people.
Well, the telescope, whatever it had. So.
Yeah, and so the heroine in this is an actress by the name of Marion Hagen.
Can I just point out that she was 10 times better than Tanya?
Well, who couldn't be? Yeah. I don't think there'll be much contest there.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
But yeah, Marion plays Cara Strode in this. She's like the heroine of the piece, so she's very good, I think.
Yes.
She's very good. Looking after the young lad, the boy in it, who's
her son. Yep.
I'm trying to think of his name. Can you remember his name?
It escapes me.
Oh man!
But he's got the not the telekinetic link, but he's got some type of second sight type thing.
Again, there's more of that. There's more of that in the producer's cut, because in the producer's cut, there's like the man in black that we saw. You remember that character that came into 5? That very much comes into this. With the strange man in black would appear outside behind, watching him, and would kind of like tell him to kill your father, And so he was getting in his head that he was a presence around a lot, trying to manipulate this child into doing the bad work and that, kind of following on from young Michael, basically.
Although, just retracting a wee bit, we should pass comment on poor Carrie's mother, who
poor Kim Darby,
who shall we say lost her head after doing the washing.
Yes,
but yeah.
That was a good little chase thing going on there, when she realises he's in the house.
Yeah, she found out how they ended up moving into the house, why her brother-in-law couldn't sell the house. Yeah.
Yeah. So she said, thanks a fucking lot. The husband, that you never told me we were in Michael Myers' house. Yeah, great. Cheers, man.
There you go.
Thanks for that, yeah. But he didn't care. He didn't care less about anyone, really, did he? Apart from himself, I don't think.
This is what Jim Beam and his was he a house salesman or
real estate or something, wasn't he?
Real estate, yeah.
Ironically, yeah. So maybe he got a good deal on that house or something.
Oh, there you go.
Because Donald Pleasant comes there, doesn't he? Before that.
He explains to the mother what the deal is.
And he tells her, you've got to get out of here, this is where he'll come back.
Essentially, this movie's at another place, because we even forgot the portion where, obviously, Julie Lloyd doesn't last long in this movie.
No, she gets a really bad death, yeah.
And it's a really cool death for a shitty movie. It really is.
Yeah, he puts her on that, what's he put her on, that bloody mangler or something?
So a mangler for the harvest things.
And then he goes back and pushes her right back in it, give her another dig.
There you go. But obviously they discover her body, and what we've neglected to mention is that Tommy finds the young infant child in the bus station.
Now, this is the continuity bit that sticks in my craw about this.
Yes.
Right? How on earth, right, did that baby keep quiet all through the night and into the next morning when Doyle discovers him, and yet Michael Myers was down there and the baby didn't cry? You know?
The only thing that I can even possibly begin to defend that way is the fact that when he was checking the cubicles, the window was open and he just went right away. But again, why would the kid not be crying? Good point.
Yeah, because he was only in that little cubby hole thing in the cupboard, and he could have gotten there and then, you know. But then again, that would have killed the film, you know, I suppose.
The film would have been over 25 minutes in. Is that what you want, Frank? My God.
I think for most people it was over within 5 minutes.
Well, yeah, it's not the end credits yet. I can get to the bar before last orders.
Yeah. First, like opening credits, I think I'm done.
Oh man,
see where this is going.
So yeah, it's a wee bit all over the place in terms of the narrative, but
yeah,
it makes some kind of sense if you can sit through it. But it's just a jumble. And then of course you've got Carrie's fucking horny ass brother who only wants to bang his girlfriend, and you've got that asshole a radio presenter who's having the Halloween festival.
That's another one you just couldn't wait to see bumped off.
Yeah.
And
jeez, man.
Another thing about that, which is again, when they cut certain scenes out, some of those scenes from the producer's cut do make more sense. Not all of them, but a couple of them you could throw back in, and then it would explain things a little further what's going on. Because that bit where he that radio presenter gets in the truck, you know,
snaps his neck.
What it doesn't show in the theatrical cut is the pan shot when it goes outside the vehicle, pans across, and it says a name on the side of the truck, which gives away the fact that he's in the wrong vehicle, and it just happens by accident that Michael is in that one. He doesn't check where he's going. Gets into this car.
He's on his cell phone at the time, wasn't he? Yeah.
But it doesn't show that in the theatrical cut. It doesn't go across and show.
What was the name on the truck?
It was a police thing or something, but Myers was in the back of it just by pure chance. So it was a real chance, a real random kind of killing. It wasn't planned.
Right.
He just got in the wrong bloody thing because he wasn't paying attention. But we don't see that in the theatrical cut. It doesn't make sense.
So, yes. So, and essentially, of course, the traditional sex scenes happen when both participants meet their maker. So, being the kid brother and the girlfriend.
That's right. So, I tell you, he's a really weird character in this. You know, Mrs. Blankenship. You know, the old woman that tells the stories.
The blind lodger woman. Yeah,
he's looking around like really weird. Doesn't say anything for a long time, and then starts.
Turns out she's part of the cult.
Yeah, she's part of the bloody cult. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a bit like the old Village of the Damned type.
Tommy's basically the landlady, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, the landlady. Yeah. Right, weirdo. Yeah. It's a bit like Wicker Man, isn't it? You know, those sort of weird characters in the Wicker Man.
Oh God, the Wicker Man.
The original Wicker Man was on there.
Thank fuck for that.
Yeah. No, I never could speak of the other one.
No. We don't mention the bees.
Not speak of it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, sorry if this cast doesn't make much sense, but this movie didn't make much fucking sense. But it's.
So
I don't know.
Where are we now? I've lost track of where we are.
But we're all over the place because the movie was all over the place.
Oh man!
Essentially, so all this thing comes together on Halloween night. The family gets killed, bumped off. Red shirts in this movie for all intents and purposes. And then Michael turns his attention towards the young boy, Carrie, and obviously Tommy. Loomis is still there in the background. But
yeah, Loomis pops in now and again. He's not as central. I mean, I think he's a little bit near the end.
Essentially a guest star in this movie. He'll pop in he's maybe on screen 25 minutes in this movie if you're lucky. Combined.
Yeah, he pops in here and there, and like when it's kind of dictates it, I guess. But it's mostly centered around Tommy Doyle.
And of course, the revelation as to who the guy in black is, which is one of his colleagues.
That's an interesting one because he looks nothing like the original character. If you watch Halloween 1. It's not the same actor playing Dr. Wynn. There was one little scene in Halloween 1 where Dr. Wynn appears.
Yes.
Where Donald Pleasence is coming out of the sanitarium, I think, after Michael Myers has escaped. And he says about the driving lessons. Remember, he was driving a car.
Mm-hmm.
Who around here could give him driving lessons? He was doing very well last night. Like that he could drive.
Yeah,
and that was Dr. Wynn that was with him. That guy, in that little scene.
A throwaway line, and we're going to bring him back some 20-odd years later.
Bring back this major plot character, Yeah. Assuming they were really old friends and stuff, and and he wants, and that's what you see because he visits. We're going way back now. I'm going right back in the early part of the film now. But Dr. Wynn goes to visit Loomis at his little cottage.
Just as a side note, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't mention in this movie that Sheriff Bo Starr survived.
No, I think. See, I got it wrong last time, and I never corrected myself, Graham. When we did Halloween 5,
it was the whole precinct, wasn't it?
I got mixed up with two characters because I was thinking of Halloween 4. Because Halloween 4, he meets Bo Starr for the first time, Loomis.
Yes.
And in the thing, and I was getting them mixed up with the films. I was thinking that end of 5 was the end of Bo Starr's character. But
the whole precinct basically got massacred.
But he apparently survived, but it was off screen.
So he did survive.
I was getting mixed up because I was thinking of the original sheriff. Because in 4, he asked Bo Starr, "Is Brackett still working here?"
Retired.
I was getting them mixed up, Brackett and Bo Starr's character, because he does say to Brackett's Bo Starr says to Loomis in 4, he says no. Brackett retired and moved to so and so.
Yeah, wherever. Yeah.
But I got the films flipped, so it's my fault. I apologise to my.
Well, there you go. We can't all be right people all the time.
So finally, thanks, Graham. You gave me a chance to apologise for there.
Yeah, there you go. I aim to please.
Films, but then again, most of these films are so complicated anyway, mate, that you do get confused like that with things.
Oh, it's very easily done. Yeah.
This one especially. Yeah. So you got to
talk about the climax of this movie because it was god awful.
So poor old King Darby gets her head chopped off.
Yes.
Bradford English comes home, old John Strode, the old bastard, and
he has a shocking development.
Has the kid to say to her while he's walking around in the dark because all the power's gone off. Oh, no dinner then.
I actually did enjoy the scene when he went into the washing machine.
The washroom. Yeah.
Yeah.
The old tumble going around. Yeah. And he pulls his
enjoy that.
And, sees his bloody shirt and stuff.
Yeah.
Out, and old Myers is behind him. That was a good one. And electrocutes the bugger. Yeah.
Yes. Toasty.
And his head blows up. That was brilliant. It was like Scanner style. Yeah. His head exploded into bits. So that was a lovely day.
Very, very enjoyable. Not bad effect for mid-90.
That was good. That was a really good effect, actually, the old head exploding. Yeah. So, you had that coming anyway, but, in the horror sense, definitely.
There we go, yep.
We always like to see the rotter get killed, So that's the end of him, and the whole place short circuits in there. All the electric goes out.
Power outage in the town, yep.
Yeah, the old story, yeah. So he can wander around in the dark and do his bit, Meanwhile, of course, Paul Rudd and Marion, Cara Strode, are finding out a lot more about this cult of Thorn and about, this is the bit, of course, that really divided fans and upset them, is the fact that they had an explanation now of sorts as to why Michael kills people.
Yeah.
And he does it at a certain time, was it a year or a cycle of every 3 years?
The night of the fucking blood moon. What a crock of shit, man.
It was, yeah. So it was all when these stars align, he will kill.
When the moon is in the 8th full blood. So an episode of Count Duckula, yeah.
So all this shite, and
yeah. Hooey. Mikey Boos, yeah. Michael only wakes up at a certain time, when the stars are, in. Yeah, well, explain the fact he was in a coma for a year with that fucking hobo in the last movie. He only wakes up at a certain time.
Yeah, and then he just woke up out of the blue. Yeah, 1 year later. So he can actually sort of shut his body down for years, Yeah,
There you go.
that's a great gift to have. Yeah.
So we find out this cock and bullshit about the cult of the fawn. And then the obligatory end of movie chase scenes begins to unfold.
Yes, and some of that was pretty good actually. Yeah. I like the bit actually where the reveal happens in the house. And Pleasance is in there and so on. And then the man in black is talking to the boy again, you know.
Yep.
And then he reveals himself as it's Dr. Wynn, like tips the black hat up. Wynn, he knows. So he knows then, you know, who the fucker is. And
we get the voice in the blind old lady. He's not so kind after all.
And then she turns weird, doesn't she? The old lady goes, "Hello, dearie." You know?
Jesus Christ, is that your best Robert Carlyle impression?
And Cara Strode does an amazing stunt through the window and jumps through the window. That was great.
Yeah, not even a scratch on her. What the fuck? She's not Jean-Claude Van Damme.
She never got anywhere because they abducted her anyway because she was out for the count at the bottom. So
yeah,
she didn't run away or anything. So then they take her to the bloody that cult place. The
cult, yeah.
We're
back in the psychiatric ward, basically, is come the climax of this movie.
Yeah, so she's on a bloody like a sacrificial table thing tied up.
Altar, yeah.
Altar thing, yeah. All these candles around, and Myers is in the background, just standing there. I thought, why is Myers so, you know?
And now we get to perhaps the most stupidest bit of this movie, whereby in the version we watched, it was a baseball bat job again. Eventually,
yes.
In the version we didn't watch, it was a bunch of pebbled stones. What the actual fuck? Explain, Frank.
How can you control the power the rage that is Michael Myers by putting a few stones around him? Yeah. And him just standing there, not doing anything. You know, you can't control Michael Myers, for Christ's sake. You know, that shouldn't be the way. He's a force that...
I was sitting there going, oh, pebbles, now we have the pebbles on the beach.
Yeah, the ruins, stones, the ruins, dearest, the ruins.
Oh, shit.
It'll be the ruin of us.
Unbelievable.
But anyway, before that, though, Graham, there's a really quite good bit where Myers comes into the hospital room and slaughters all the doctors and that. Do you remember that?
Yes.
There's like this bloodbath scene in it. You know, you see them all getting banged up against the walls and there's blood going everywhere, and he's like slaughtering about 20 of them in there.
And there's a section where the young kid goes underneath the table.
Behind it, looking at it. You know?
Yeah, no bad effects.
Yeah, that was a pretty crazy scene. All the lights going, you know, flickering everywhere, all the strobing, and that was pretty well done actually. And he was really shows how brutal he could be, you know.
There wasn't some, as much as we're ragging on this movie, folks. There is some good scenes in it. It's just unfucking sensible.
It's just so up in the air, isn't it? You know, it's just not consistent. Narrative is not consistent. It's so jumbled up. Interesting, the guy that wrote it was a huge Halloween fan, especially with the first film. And he was trying to put
maybe he was on crystal meth when he wrote this. It was the 90s.
Oh, Breaking Bad wasn't out then, was it? No, so he wasn't into
No, Bryan Cranston, executive producer credit. Yeah. There you go.
But I think what he was trying to do, and he might have captured a bit of it, the essence of it. He was trying to get some of the mood and feel from the Halloween 1. I think one thing they did do that was pretty good. That they got the house to look a bit more like the Myers one compared to the shite house that was in Halloween 5, like the Monsters house.
The shite house.
like a gothic fucking castle. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Why the hell did they change it, man? It looked nothing like the Myers house, did it? It was ridiculous.
Maybe they just couldn't get the rights for the actual house at the time, you know?
Yeah, but the thing is, this was shot in the same area or same place, Salt Lake City again. Yet they got a better house. You know? So there we are. I don't know what happened there, but
I know that people move in and redecorate, but that was a wee bit to the extreme.
Oh, that was just ludicrous. It really did. That jarred it.
So anyway, he runs amok in this hospital, and then the climactic end scene, basically, of the theatrical version.
Yeah, so they put all this stuff. What they put in him? Like, what's that stuff in the syringes? That green goo.
Oh, I can't even remember.
What the hell was that?
They put something in it. We saw him doing anyway.
Was it oil or something like engine oil, or I don't know what it was.
and credited him with something to slow him down, and then it was just a case of Tommy with a baseball bat again. He doesn't like baseball bats, does he? Yeah.
He beat the hell out of him, didn't he?
2 movies have been done in by a baseball bat. What the hell?
And all this like green slime was coming out of Michael's mask and everything. He was really messed up.
Yeah.
You know, it was pretty.
An episode of Goosebumps.
Yeah. So they thought, yes, that's the end of Michael Myers. Is it buggery? But
well, until we went to their 20th anniversary special movie 2 years later, but 3 years later. But,
which done away with what happened in 4, 5, and 6 anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Dead Eye. There's only 1 and 2 that
followed on from 2 from the fire. Yeah. So all that was.
And we're doing that again. There's a new one this month. So.
And again, that's not following anything but Halloween 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
So even the timelines in these movies is fucked up anyway, mate. Let alone the stories.
An episode of Doctor Who is forever being rewritten. Wobbly, wobbly, splashy, splashy. Yeah, you know.
Wobbly, wobbly, slashy, slashy. It's true though. Yeah, it's such a convoluted franchise. It's unbelievable. You know, none of them, really follow very well. I mean, 4, 5, and 6 did. There was some kind of narrative going on. Fred through it.
I think 1 and 2 were fine. The only thing that fucked up too was that ending when he supposedly dies. I mean,
yes, yeah, that's right. Yeah, 3 had nothing to do with any of them, obviously.
3 would have been a fine standalone B movie if it didn't have the name Halloween in it.
It doesn't work when it's got the Halloween bloody name attached to it.
Just call it Season of the Witch, even though there was no witches in it. It was about masks, whatever.
Yeah, they should have just called it that, or given it another, like Halloween-y title, but not Halloween above it.
I don't know what they call it. I don't even get. Season of the Witch. It was made about masks that possess people. It wasn't about witches.
No, it was like
a mask.
A skull mask and a pumpkin. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you can even call it. Silver Shamrock and get away with it. Silver Shamrock.
Yeah, that's I'd say really stuck in people's heads for a long time. When you watch that movie, you can't get out of your head.
I was screaming at the end. I'm never going to have a seizure, but yeah.
So yeah, what's really sad, there was a poignant moment in this, and it wasn't written that way, I don't think, but in hindsight, when you think that Donald died shortly after he'd done his scenes, that was his last movie, effectively.
There's a memorial figure at the end, don't know? Yeah,
there's a lovely little scene at the end where they kind of like they've just killed Myers, or so they think. This is the theatrical version, I mean. So we don't see that monstrosity that was the producer's cut at the end. You know how his fate was sealed there. It's completely different to the theatrical one. You know when he's going, no, like that. But we see it off camera. We just hear him scream, and you just see Michael's discarded mask on the ground. So effectively, he's got away again. But in the producer's cut, we see Myers lying down on the floor. Loomis goes in and leans over him, and grabs his hand, I think, or something, pulls the mask off, and it's Dr. Wynn underneath that's been dressed up as Myers. So Myers is dressed as the Man in Black now, and Wynn is in Myers overalls.
Mechanic overalls, yeah.
But something happens, doesn't it, on screen when you see him? Loomis looks at his arm, and the bloody mark of thorn appears on his wrist. So effectively, it's been passed on to Loomis. He's now cursed. And that's why he screams out like that.
He's not bloody well topped himself, isn't it? Yeah.
And that's why he screams at that point. But they edited that bit out and scream over the mask thing. But that's effectively how that.
Obviously died 2 months later. They couldn't exactly follow it up. Yeah.
Yeah. What can you do? Yeah, that's right.
They seriously considering bringing him back for a 7th fucking movie.
Do you think? I think he would have done it had he been well enough. But he obviously was. I think genuinely quite ill back then. At that time, I think he could have a stroke for real. And I don't think he would. I don't think he could have done another one, even if he was around. It probably would have been too much, to be honest.
Probably not.
Yeah,
well.
So that's effectively that was the sad demise of Loomis. Effectively, he didn't die on screen as such, but by the time H2O came around, which we'll be doing another show on, he's written out, obviously, because obviously he died in between.
Yeah, they mentioned his nurse found him or something, didn't they?
Yeah, something like that. They wrote in and say he passed on. Yeah, so let's just have your, as it was his last performance, Graham, it's only fitting that we do a little tribute to Donald Pleasence, how much impact he had on these Halloween films. As he was the main, star from up to, from one to, apart from 3, but 1 to 6, he'd been in an awful lot of them. So would you like to offer a few words about him?
He's one of the actors who basically stands the test of time, whether it's his interpretation of Blofeld in the Bond franchise or whether it's Loomis here. Many, many other roles as well. I'm a kind of somewhat sad this was the last thing that he put to film. I would have preferred to go maybe one more thing in to go with a bit more of a bang, but
yeah,
you don't choose when your time is up, so what can you do?
But it's interesting that was his last film in a way, because in his latter years, he was getting very known for playing that character. That really stuck with him. And he really loved coming back, despite the fact that the stories weren't always great. He really did love that role, that character of Loomis. And he grew to love it, and
there you go.
Kind of fitting in a way that was his final one, because that was a character that he found a lot of new fans through,
Yeah.
And that role is so remembered. I also loved him in The Great Escape. I thought he was brilliant as the blind guy in it.
There you go.
And he was good in Columbo. Did you ever see the episode where he was in Columbo? He was brilliant in that.
Everybody's been in Columbo.
He was a wine connoisseur. It was a brilliant episode if you get a chance to see it. And he's so crafty in that, and slippery, which he does very well, So yeah,
Columbo has a unique brand of villains, from Donald Pleasence to Johnny Cash. Go figure.
You wouldn't believe it, would you? But Johnny Cash was bloody brilliant.
And Norm from Cheers. Yeah.
Yeah. Really run the gamut of it. Yeah. Let's have some great leading actors in that series. He's a fine actor. He was also very good in horror films that he did, although he wasn't as well known for horror as, of course, his cohorts like Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing, for instance, who were both evidently up for the role of Loomis before Donald Pleasence got cast. He was about third down the line. They tried to get Christopher Lee, then they tried to get Peter Cushing, and then they got Donald Pleasence.
Yep.
So we're pretty much approaching the end here, Graham, because I both run out of ideas of what to talk about for this.
This movie's just.
But I will say this about it: there are some scenes in it that are bloody good, but there are a lot of other scenes that are really perplexing, and the narrative is, as you say, is all over the bloody shop, which is a shame. Because there are some good things in it. The direction, I think, is pretty good. I think the filmic quality to it is bloody great, as any other feature film out there. It looks good on screen. I think Myers is the actor, George P. Wilbur, who came back for this, is better in this, I think, than he was in 4. He seems much more brutal.
Why was it on 5?
No, that was Don Shanks that took part in that one. He was a very big guy, a very well-built guy. Wilbur was tall, but not like broad like him, and he had to be padded out a bit, I think. But Don Shanks was a big guy, a big weightlifting guy. So they wanted
as we mentioned earlier, there are some good things in this, but the Jamie Lloyd death in this is worth seeing.
That was a brutal
don't try and make sense of the plot. Just watch that death scene.
That death was brutal, I have to admit. That was he had no feeling whatsoever. Did he? Well, he doesn't anyway, but I mean, he really
I saw those nights of passion meant nothing to him. Yeah.
Absolutely bugger all. When she reached her hand out to him, he just shoved her further back in the mangle. He was really, really nice.
I've been running after you for 2.5 bloody movies.
Yeah, so you were having it, yeah. So yeah, I thought he was more brutal in this. It was like the scene when he was killing all the doctors, the surgeons.
Yep.
That was really heavy stuff. Some of the other deaths are pretty good, Paul Rudd, as his debut movie, I was a bit hot and cold with Paul Rudd's performance. He seemed a bit off to me. I mean,
it was all right in places.
First film, but what do you think? Did he play it?
It was all right in places. It was all right in places, but you could tell in other bits he's like, oh, he's kind of green.
Yeah. I just thought he was a bit too creepy for quite a period at the beginning. He could have toned it down a wee bit. He was just a bit too oddball and creepy, I thought. The way he was like, watching them from the, with the binoculars and all that stuff. He was a bit, But,
It was very American Beauty.
yeah. A little bit Rear Window, but not obviously not in a different way, you know. But he was just like observing another house, you know. But I mean, he got better as it went on, and he became more heroic and lightened up a wee bit. But at the beginning, he was very, very suspect, I thought. But all in all, not a bad performance. Kim Darby, who was a very famous Hollywood actress, certainly when she was younger, was a little bit underused in this movie. Really, she doesn't last that long; just gets bumped off, you know.
A little bit underused, but you know, a couple of weeks work and a paycheck for her, so I don't think she was complaining.
True, because I think at that time she probably wasn't doing many roles. I think. Bradford English was good, even though he played a complete arsehole. He was actually quite a good actor, I thought. Played that role pretty well.
If he made you hate him the way that we hate him, he done his job right.
He's done his job right. That's right. And I think hats off to Marianne Hagen as well as the heroine Cara Strode. I thought she was really good. I think also it was her first film as well. I believe it was her first film as well. So there was 2 debuts.
If that was her first film, she was miles better than old Tommy did.
Yeah, she did a really good job of it, and she was very good. You know, very good at playing the protective, you know, elder sister of the boy, and she did some right moments and stunts and things. And I thought she was really good. Had that vulnerability like Jamie Lee Curtis had in the original. She reminded me a little bit of Jamie Lee Curtis in it, actually, the younger Jamie Lee. Echoes of that, you know, that kind of girl's a little bit distant and you know, alone and that. Bit of a geeky kind of character. You know, so I think she was really good in that. I really liked her. So all in all, mate, to sum this up, what good and bad impressions, basically. Good elements.
Good impressions. Good impressions, effects.
Yeah.
Some of the actors. And some of the atmosphere. Bad impressions, narrative, plot.
Which is a big thing in the movie.
Yeah, plot. Yeah, you've not got a plot, you've not got fuck all. Some of the pacing was over the point as well. I mean, 1 minute, I just... it's better than 5 for me, but it's still god awful.
Yeah, I would say that. If I had to put it in like an order of like, you know, like a ranking thing, I think 6 would be over 5 anyway, at least, you know. Because there was a lot of elements I did enjoy, but a lot that just didn't work, you know.
Sorry, Tina.
No. Poor Tina. She was a lovely, attractive actress, but God, the character was just grinding.
On your head.
You know, irritating, yeah. But yeah, all in all, mate, not that, it could have been a damn sight worse, I think.
Not much, you know? But it could have been, yeah. It
could have been, yeah. It was close to being, but yeah. So that's Halloween 6.
Indeed.
Curse of Michael Myers from 1995. That was,
I think we were all cursed after watching that movie.
You know, you can always tell what sort of period these films are made in as well, because the soundtrack was all like rock, American rock, kind of grungy sort of stuff.
The movie's always distinguished by its soundtrack.
Yeah, very much. Because at the end of it, I think the closing title's got like some kind of rock track going over the titles and stuff. So yeah, all in all, not bad. Our next one.
Well, don't sugarcoat it. It was bad. It just wasn't god awful.
No, at least we can say it wasn't completely god awful. Yeah, but it was pretty bad. Next up, though, we're going to be talking about Halloween H2O 20 years later, which sees the return of Jamie Lee Curtis to the franchise since a last appearance in Halloween 2. So we will find out.
But we don't count that.
Eh?
but we don't count that for the purposes of this movie.
Yeah, the purposes of this movie in this timeline at the moment, at least till I see the new one. This is supposed to follow on.
I think we count Halloween 2 and H2O. I can't remember.
Halloween 4, 5, and 6 do not exist in this.
Oh, right. So Halloween 2 does count in H2O. Okay, fair enough.
But, yeah, to H2O timeline, yeah, it does, but not now. You know, not with the new one. Yeah. It's Halloween 1, 2, then H2O.
Well, Actually, all these movies still exist for another 3 more days until the 19th, until this new one comes out. So enjoy them for the next 3 or 4 days, folks.
But the good thing is, if you've got Blu-ray or DVD, you can enjoy them anytime you want.
Or, in my case, point and laugh at them.
Yeah, you can pick your own timeline. That's what it's like a game. Pick your own Halloween timeline. You can
Pick your timeline.
which one you just put it in
So an
whatever way
episode
you
of
want.
Black Mirror.
There's about half a dozen different ways you can do it. I was working out the combinations that that you can use. So you can have a little game, a bit of fun with that if you want.
Choose your slasher path. Yeah.
That's it. Until then, Graham,
down
thanks
the
very
road.
much, man.
Yeah, well, mate. Always a pleasure.
Thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you're enjoying your dinner there. And we'll see you very, very soon. Thank you very much for listening, guys, and take care.